Hey everyone, welcome back. My name's dustinkreis, and today we are going to do one of those game discussions that I absolutely despise doing, and that is just when I just don't enjoy something. And the game we're going to talk about today is The Evil Within, the newest game from the creator of Resident Evil. And basically this game is take Silent Hill, or actually let me rephrase that, take Resident Evil 4, slap a Silent Hill coat of paint on it, throw in a dash of Bioshock, a dash of Amnesia, and a dash of Outlast, and essentially you have The Evil Within. The weird thing about it is, I don't know, like, I love Resident Evil 4. It's one of my favorite games. And I'm always like, man, I wish there was another game out there like Resident Evil 4. And then when another game comes out like Resident Evil 4, I get really bored with it. Like, just really bored with it. Resident Evil Revelations, I stuck it out until the very end, and I just couldn't beat the boss, and I said, fuck it, I'm getting rid of it. This game right here, I don't know. There's nothing drawing me in. It feels like one of those sort of soulless AAA titles that gets hyped up by the magazines and the websites, and you know, oh, this is gonna be the greatest game ever, and then it comes out and it's just kind of meh. And I think I haven't really looked into the review scores too much. But it does, I mean, some places are of course giving it great reviews, and then some places are giving it kind of, you know, meh reviews. And that's just kind of my thoughts on The Evil Within, is meh. The storyline, I can't even tell you what the fuck's going on in this game, because it doesn't really even set out with a good premise. You play as a detective, I can't remember his name, Sebastian. And you go to investigate this thing, and then, like, the town just starts going crazy and shifting, and monsters start pouring out, and there's nothing there to draw me in. The characters are flat, they are two-dimensional. The voice acting, which we'll talk about a little bit I mean, there's just nothing to these characters. You know, this feels like, maybe it's supposed to be a throwback to older survival horror games and the tropes of survival horror. But in modern times, voice acting should not be that bad. You know, maybe like Deadly Premonition bad, but this is not even like Deadly Premonition bad, where it's so bad it's good. This is just like, oh my god, something's happening, we should go. Oh, are you okay? I should help you. You know, it's just that kind of very, I don't know if they're going for like a stoic type of thing, but the characters are just so bland. I just don't care. So the storyline, I really don't have much to tell you on it. It makes absolutely no sense. It keeps piling more and more questions on you without giving you like any kind of satisfying feeling. And I got to a point in the game where I was like, you know, I'm just sitting here playing this because that's what I'm doing. I'm not sitting here playing this because I want to see what happens, or I want to play this, really enjoy this game. You know, I'm not playing this because I enjoy it. I'm just kind of playing it to play it. And then I started getting like this just feeling of despair, and finally I just said, you know what, I'm taking it out, and I'm going to take it back to GameStop and trade it in. Gameplay wise, if you've played, here's the thing, if you really love Resident Evil 4, you'll probably find something to really like here. It has that same, you know, over-the-shoulder aiming style that Resident Evil 4 and Shadows of the Damned and you know, all the Resident Evils since 4 have had. And I don't know, maybe I'm just tired of that style, because I really disliked Resident Evil Revelations, and I just stopped playing Shadows of the Damned. I don't know what made me stop playing it, but maybe me and that style of like action, survival action, because it's not survival horror. it's not really that scary of a game, to be honest with you. It's gory, and it's got monsters in it, so it must be survival horror. But it's really more survival action. Because, I don't know, like, when I think survival horror, I think more of a creepy atmosphere. And just putting the game in a dilapidated building and having these zombie-like creatures come at you, it doesn't really, I mean, it doesn't do it for me. I need, like, in a heavy, oppressive atmosphere, or, like in the case of Deadly Premonition, just all-out weirdness, you know. And that's kind of where I feel with The Evil Within. I just feel it's kind of soulless, and it doesn't draw me in. You know, it's just another one of these huge budget games that really do nothing new. And I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting for it, because I saw it at PAX. And when I saw them play it at PAX, I thought, that looks pretty average. It looks like a pretty average game, pretty mediocre game. And then, I don't know, maybe I just got wrapped up in the hype train as it was coming out, because it started to look a lot better. And then Steven was like, yeah, I'm going to get it too. And we're both just kind of, I mean, I think Steven's enjoying it more than I am, but I'm just kind of blah to the entire experience. There's a lot of cool things going on in the game. I mean, it does have a very, more of a dream logic sense to it than Resident Evil. Resident Evil is all about the jump scares, and this tries to have an atmosphere and tries to be creepy, but just putting bloodstains on, like, a wall and just having these buildings decaying is not creepy in and of itself. It's just not. I mean, Fallout, I wouldn't say Fallout is a particularly creepy game. You know, Fallout, like Fallout 3. I loved exploring the ruins in Fallout 3 because I love post-apocalyptic stuff. But I wouldn't say Fallout 3 was a scary game. In the same sense, I don't feel The Evil Within is a particularly scary game. Oh, look, you know, it's got gory things. Oh, look, a body's getting ripped in half and stuff like that. That's not scary to me. I can sit and watch that stuff and not be scared. There has to be some kind of tension or, I don't know. I don't know what it is about Silent Hill that makes me feel so unnerved sometimes. But Resident Evil doesn't have it, and neither does The Evil Within. It's just, there's something missing. And that's what I kept saying to, like, people who would ask me how I'm enjoying the game. I was like, well, if you like Resident Evil 4, you'll probably like it. But for me, something is missing in this game, and I don't know what it is. But, God, I really wish I could enjoy it a lot more. Because, I mean, there are some graphical hiccups. I really hate... is this... I don't know what engine this runs on, if it is in fact the Unreal Engine. I don't know. It's got the Havok physics engine, but I don't know what the actual in-game engine is. But I hate these overly, like, I don't know, there's just something about the overly detailedness of it. And kind of the same way about Silent Hill Downpour. Like, it gets to a point where... Actually, Silent Hill Downpour looks worse than Silent Hill 2. I don't know how that's possible. But there's just something about it where, like, the graphics get, like, so slick and so detailed that it just, like, takes me out of it. And I think, what do they call it? The Uncanny Valley or something like that? I can't remember what it's called, but as, like, things get closer and closer to looking realistic, they actually look more and more unrealistic. So, yeah, I don't know. The graphics are kind of a mixed bag for me. I mean, on paper, they're amazing. You know, on paper, they're amazing. But for some reason, they just feel like they have no soul behind it. It just feels like... I don't want to say cardboard cutouts, because that'll give you a bad impression. I mean, the animations are fluid and everything like that, but it just feels like... The entire game just feels paper thin. Just paper thin. And then came the revelation, Scott, Ultimate Floyd, said this is about a 17-ish hour game. And honestly, I mean, I think I'm at chapter 5 now, maybe about 4 hours into it. I can't see myself playing this for 17 hours. That's just how, like, it's not bad. It's not a bad game. It's not. If you like that style of game, you'll probably love The Evil Within. But I'm just not, I don't know what it is. I'm just not latching on to it. It's not gripping me. And, like, I remember the first time I put it in, because I haven't had a lot of time to play anything. The first time I put it in, I turned it on and I played for an hour. And I was like, okay, I'm done with this. And then I kind of got to thinking later in the night, I was like, you know, that's a brand new game. I should be playing that for more than an hour. I have the time. Why did I just stop playing it? And I kind of just brushed it off. But then as I kept playing, it kind of dawned on me that I just wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't having a good time with it. And it's not because it's difficult or hard. It just feels soulless. I don't know. Have you guys ever had an experience with a game like that where it feels hollow? Like, it feels... You want to like it, but it doesn't really do anything to make you like it. It just says, you know, they just kind of put it out and said, well, it's gory, and it's got the Resident Evil 4 thing. People love that. People love the creepiness of the Silent Hill. Let's make the environments look like that. Whatever. It'll sell a bunch, you know. And the hype train suckered me in, and that's kind of the thing I feel like a lot nowadays as, you know, the industry moves forward. It's not like the old days where you'd grab a Nintendo Power and look at a Super Nintendo game and see these great graphics, and then, like, you would watch it, and then it came out, and you played it, and you're like, oh my god, this is the greatest game ever. There is a lot of disappointment nowadays. I don't know why. Maybe it's just me, but it seems like when a game comes out, you think it's going to be one thing, and then it's just kind of disappointing because that's all it is, you know. I mean, literally, all it is just Resident Evil 4 with a coat of Silent Hill paint. And then, like, in terms of the music and the upgrades and things like that, kind of got a little Bioshock thing in it. But, I don't know. I don't know where to go with this. Because, you know, I'm not slagging all AAA titles. Because Wolfenstein, you know, was a AAA title. And I fucking loved Wolfenstein. And it's by Bethesda as well. But for some reason, this one, if people ask me, should I play this? I'm going to tell you, wait till it gets cheap. And even, I mean, I might keep my save on my PS4, but even when this gets cheap, I'm probably not going to pick it back up. I'll probably eventually delete my save off my system because it's just, I feel like I've played it before. And not in a good way. You know, like when you play a Tales of game, you know, you feel like you've played it before, but there's something about it, because maybe it's just because I love the series, it keeps you going, you know, you want to see what happens. And I've played Resident Evil 4. I don't need really to play it again. So what else does this have for me? Not a lot, you know, not a lot. So, anyway, that's it. If you want just kind of a generic horror game with the Resident Evil 4 control scheme and all that kind of stuff, Evil Within is your game. Just did not care for it. And not for, like, you know, a shit-eating Dark Souls reason where I just didn't like, you know, the gameplay and things like that. Like, I enjoy the gameplay of this. I don't know, it just did nothing for me. It stirred nothing in me. And I was just sitting there, I was like, you know, I really don't want to play this anymore. I just don't want to play it. Period. You know, so that is it for The Evil Within. I really don't know what else to say about it. It feels very bland, very mediocre, not scary at all. I mean, the only thing that's kind of scary is the checkpoint system in the game's kind of shit, because it feels like it drops you way, way, way back. And if you don't have any ammo, you will die in this game a lot, which is, you know, you're expected to do that in a survival horror game. But the checkpoint system kind of drops you way, way, way back. So that's where the scares come in. Not having any ammo and being like, oh shit, there's all these enemies. But yeah, I have no interest in seeing where this game goes. Just zero interest. And I'm going to go trade it in and hope I get at least, I don't know, at least half of the price. I don't know how GameStop does trade-ins when they're, brand spanking new. But anyway, that is it for this. I hate doing these kinds of videos because I want to get on here and talk to you about how great games are. But every now and then I play what I consider to be a clunker, and Evil Within is one of those. So. Anyway, that is it. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you next time.